research, we need to employ some block busting techniques such as brainstorming or writing the hypothesis, then finding out the cause effect relationship. Then only we can find the different kinds of options. Then comes deciding. So this process is what by which the processor selects one course of action from among alternatives in decision making. Decision making is a task that requires gathering, organizing, combining, and evaluating information. So you have to gather the all sorts of information. Then you have to organize it in a systematic way. Then you have to combine these all solutions. You have to jot them out. You have to have a collectively. You have to arrange it them. Then evaluating the information. We need to examine each option by weighing the pros and cons of each in the light of our objective. So every option is to be judged whether if we select this particular option, are we going to have a advantage of it or disadvantage of it. Each option is to be weighed on this light. That is, our objectives are these, and how are we going to select these four options, and out of these four options we have to select the best one, and accordingly we have to decide that if we select option 1, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. Then 2, again the merits and demerits. For 3, the same thing, and for 4, again we have to find out what are the advantages and disadvantages. Then we have to decide after the 4, that is from these 4 options, which one is the best one. Then finally, after deciding, we have to implement it or taking action. So here, what is that? We need to translate the decision into action. We have to let them know what has been decided so that one can help us in implementing it successfully. To convert the decision into action, we need to plan what has happened and then put the plan into action. So until and unless we put the plan into action, then we'll not be able to solve the problem. Then the final step is what? Evaluating the action. The last step in the process is to find out the effectiveness of the action taken. We need to find out the disparity between the real effect of the action and the expected outcome. That is, after putting the thing into action, we have to see, we have to judge, we have to have the value judgment that whether our decision was, are we right enough, that we have taken the right decision, that this particular option will give us the goal or will help us to achieve the goal. So by comparing what is happening with what we expected to happen, so we can keep track of how things are happening. In case things are not going as per our plan, if things are not going according to our plan, we need to find out the hitches or the hurdles or the barriers and make adjustment to the plan if it is not yielding the expected outcome. If the thing which we had planned, if it is not coming, that outcome is not there, then we have to search what are the barriers which is acting as hurdle to achieve the goal. Then the areas of decision making in educational institutions. So what are the different areas? First is the curriculum planning and transaction. So curriculum planning involves what? The decisions are what? That is what to teach and how to teach. What to teach refers to your subject, content and the syllabus part, and how to teach refers to your methodology. How to introduce a topic, how to explain it, what type of teaching learning materials to be used, how to provide different types of illustration and examples. So all of these come under what? Decisions related to curriculum planning and transaction. Then management of resources. So here we see there are resources which include several projected and non-projected media, the use of computer, the use of ICT, television, radio, overhead projectors, internet, email, teleconferencing, how to make maximum utilization of this and how to utilize it at the appropriate place in the delivery of the teaching learning procedure. So here then we move to the financial resources. Then the next one is decision regarding the financial resources. the funds that are required for the maintenance and sustenance of the overall school plant. That is also important. Then human resources. So school resources also includes human resources of the school. There are mainly the teachers, the students, and the support staff. Engagement of human resource optimally and effectively requires a lot of decision. That is, right decision is to be taken while selecting the teachers, while appointing them, their educational qualification. If we are doing selection of students, then entrance test should be done in a proper way. Then only we can say that good students have been selected, or meritorious or deserving students have been selected. Then only we can say that the teaching or learning process will achieve the objectives. Then what about classroom management? The type of classroom discipline and arrangement, freedom to be provided to the children, how to give reward, the type of rewarding the good performance, providing corrective measures, all of these come under the classroom management and the decision to be taken. Then management of co-curricular activities. Different types of co-curricular activities like quiz, dramatics, dance, music, study tour, debate, community work, all of these are to be taken care of. Then only we can say that curricular and co-curricular activities both have to be taken, so that all-round development of personality is possible. Then management of examination. The authorities have to make a number of decisions. That is, what kind of exam, whether it will be objective or essay type, the duration of the exam, the number of invigilators, who will set the questions, who will correct the answers, the examiners, all of these are to be taken care. That is the management of examination. Then what about intuitive decision making? So intuitive decision making is what? It is an unconscious process created out of distilled experience. Some thinkers consider it as an extrasensory power or the sixth sense. That is, you take a decision that my sixth sense told me to do like that. There is no logic behind it. There is no rationality behind it. But all of a sudden you think that this is to be done, and I feel my gut feeling tells like that it is to be done in this way. So it does not necessarily operate independently or of rational analysis. So here we see both the rational and intuitive, they complement each other. And where we have to take this intuitive decision making? So when high level of uncertainty exists, when the facts are limited, when there are a number of the options are limited, and here when analytical data are of little use, when the time limit, when there is a time limit is very limited. So these are the areas where you have to take intuitive decision making. Then the role of ethics in decision making, that is morality, humane thing, all these things have to be taken into consideration. That is, whether you are hurting someone, whether it is ethical or not, it is legal enough or not, the human dignity is maintained or not, the worth of the thing is lost or is it there intact. These all things are to be taken care of when the ethics in, that is the role of ethics in decision making. So here the general principle that needs to be borne in mind is that a particular manner of teaching may be immoral because it violates certain moral principles. So you should not violate the minimum moral principles or decorum. Otherwise, it will be unethical. Then, what are the different instructional support practices at micro level? So here we see instructional support with support in the delivery of instruction. The first one is what? Library. So library is considered as the lifeline of an institution where the learners refer to the relevant literature for deep learning and widen the horizon of their thinking. So for reference material, for self-study, for developing the habit of reading, and for hobbies like reading novels, magazines, encyclopedia, quiz books, everything is to be updated if the library is updated. So library helps the learner to become autonomous by way of independent and self-study. In other words, library facilitates learners to develop the skill of self-paced and self-learning. where they learn to evaluate, organize their learning independently, and even they develop what? Problem solving skills. So it is very important that is library should be always updated and new books are to be included. Even nowadays, that is digital library facilities are available. Even the use of ICT in library is increasing day by day. Then what about seminars? So seminars are what? To engage students and teachers in an organized discussion on a particular topic. A person delivers the seminars or presents the seminar, then the seminar is open for discussion. What are the queries related to that particular topic or issue that can be discussed, and here it is very educative and also interesting. So here group presentation is there, listening to the presentation, active participation after that, that is open for discussion. There the individuals participate, that is they clear their doubts, they have their own views, and they get a clear idea of that particular topic. Then what about in service education of teachers? So here this is the age of information explosion and revolution. If only one time training of the teacher is not enough, therefore different kind of in service training is provided. And for that we have what? That is your diet, District Institute of Educational Research. Also we have IASC, that is Institute of Advanced Studies in Education. And here we have workshops, refresher courses, seminars, which the in-service teachers attend so that to brush up their knowledge, to upgrade their knowledge, to learn the new methodologies which they can utilize in their classroom teaching. Then the cluster school system. What is a cluster school system? So here, a school cluster is a group of schools that are geographically as close and accessible to each other as possible. Some management structures support, and here we see that the cluster school, 2, 3 schools are nearby. There is exchange of teachers are there, exchange of resource materials are there, books are there, so that all the schools in the nearby locality are benefited, and to pull the resources from several small schools so as to provide quality education. So here the main benefit of it is what? Improving the quality of teaching and learning. Here, decentralized way of management is there. Empowerment at cluster levels, that is here. Teachers, parents, community members, all of them are involved in the managerial process, and it also improves the efficiency. That is, quality education is provided. Then what about institutional collaboration? Collaboration is active partnership with some commitment by institution. It ranges from simple collaboration to strategic collaboration in the area of exchange of information. And for that, we see the institutions share knowledge and expertise. Infrastructure is also shared, that is the ICT facilities. Even human resource support services are also shared so that all the partner institutions are benefited. And for that example is what? Commonwealth of Learning is there. Distance Education Council have formed the support system for the partner institutions. And we also find European Association of Distance Universities. So these are examples where institutional collaboration has taken place. Then community support. So community support is what? A close relationship between school and community. And this has resulted to what? Formation of PTA, that is Parents Teacher Association, MTA, Mother Teacher Association. And here we see that community support school at both the macro and micro levels. Special efforts have been made to mobilize the community for what? For providing facilities like school building, laboratory apparatus, furniture, playground. These are the things where community support is needed. Then guest lectures. Even guest lectures are useful to the serious learners at all levels. That is, guests can be invited for delivery of lectures, and students can have a very educative session. They can learn a lot from the experience of these guest people. They can deliver the lectures in a very lucid manner so that the students will get all sort of information and they'll be motivated to learn more. Then we move on to what? That is the use of information and communication technology. So here we see that is the use of advanced information technology. Many institutions have used, that is the use of internet, intranet, CD-ROM, teleconferencing, video conferencing. These have helped what? That is providing information to the doorstep of the learners. Then learning support services. So ODL, that is your open and distance learning system, has provision of various support services, beginning with what? Pre-counseling session, then providing feedback of the performance, then to strengthen learning support, ODL system creates network of study, learning centers where the learners can discuss and resolve. Even the personal contact programs are there. Then we see what? Agencies involved in instructional support. We have already seen that that is University Grant Commission. So it suggests what? That is, it suggests the improvement in higher education, that it was established in the year 1948-59. And we also find NAC, which is an autonomous body under UGC and has been entrusted the responsibility to assess and accredit higher education institution in the country. And this periodic assessment and accreditation of higher education institution include what? That is, teacher education institutions are also assessed, and it stimulates the academic environment for promotion of teaching, learning, and even the research work. Then the ISRO. The prime objective of Indian Space Research Organization is to build space technology and its application for national development, including what? Socio-economic and educational development. So ISRO's main objective is what? That is educational development, research work. The example of INSAT is there, SIT is there, that is Satellite Instructional Television Experiment 1975-76. Interactive media is also there, teleconferencing, telecommunication. All these are the outcome of the research carried out in ISRO. Then we move on to what? That is your Distance Education Council. It is an apex body of IGNOU, is responsible for promotion and coordination of open education system and for the dissemination of its standards. So it provides financial and technical support to institution of open learning, and it also makes use of ICT. Then what? Then we see what? That is your NCTE. NCTE is what? That is National Council for Teacher Education. And the main objective of it is to achieve planned and coordinated development of teacher education and throughout the country. It covers all aspects of teacher education, such as the maintenance of quality, research, training of teachers for pre-primary, primary, secondary, and senior secondary school education. Then what? International Council for Open and Distance Education. So here it offers its members to access to its extensive worldwide experience and networking capacity in distance and flexible learning at strategic and operational level. That is in the year 2005. So new methodologies are available, fostering international collaboration, flexible learning. Then Asian Association of Open Learning. So it was formed by the number of open university in the Asian region in the year 1987. That is to facilitate distance teaching and promoting professional and ethical standard amongst distance educators, facilitating cooperation with other similar regional and international bodies. Then comes the COL, that is Commonwealth of Learning, 1988. It has been established, and the member countries optimize their potential to expand access to education to the remotest regions and to meet the requirements. So here it is a resource for training, capacity building, knowledge provider. These are the major roles performed by whom? That is your COL. Then we move on to, that is your Next part is what? That the effectiveness of educational organization. So educational organization are mainly known for their quality of performance. So academic achievement of the student or overall quality of organization, organizational environment, or any other component of organizational functioning by different beneficiary, namely that is your students, parents, national governments, and employers. So this is why the educational organizations realize the importance of increasing the effectiveness of their organization. So here we have to see what is effectiveness and what is efficiency. So effectiveness is what? It is related with terms like quality improvement, the monitoring, reviewing, accountability, performance, and here it is referring to what? That is effectiveness can be looked at from the quality, quantity, equity, equality of educational experiences. To be effective, an organization should be doing the right things, or more specifically achieving outcomes which are consistent with its expectations. That is, the prefixed objectives are to be achieved. That is, whether the particular organization is functioning properly or not, how can we know if it has been able to achieve all the objectives which were fixed before its starting? That is, while planning the objectives, those objectives, if we come to the end of the program and find that those objectives have been achieved successfully, then the program was very effective, or it was effective enough. So here, educational efficiency is concerned with the relationship between the effects of education and the inputs of education. So here, effectiveness is what? The distinction between school effectiveness and school efficiency. So what is it? So according to Cheng, has defined the differentiated, or he has differentiated between effectiveness and efficiency. According to him, technical effectiveness and efficiency refers to what? School outputs limited to those in schools or just after schooling. That is the type of learning behavior, change in behavior, modification in behavior, attitudinal change. Whereas social effectiveness is what? And efficiency is what? It is related to what? Lifelong effects on individual. That is their earning capacity, their work productivity. If we combine these two, then we find what? That is in school, just after schooling, the short term goals, or here we find what? Change in behavior, change in skill. But on the societal level, we find what? That is earning capacity, productivity of the learner. Then in schools, societal effectiveness. Then schools, technical effectiveness. Schools, technical efficiency. That is your economic effectiveness. Schools, societal efficiency. That is your external to economic effectiveness. So overall, we can say that all these things related to two things. One is the short-term goal. Another one is the long-term goal. The short-term goal referring to the immediate change of behavior, and the long goal, what kind of life skills you have attained. How have you been equipped through this particular educational program? Are you able to lead a happy and contented life? These are the references of your long-term goal. Then we have different views of organizational effectiveness. We have economic rationality model. That is here, the effectiveness of this particular theoretical background, the criteria is what? Productivity. That is, since it is having the word economic rationality, so productivity is chosen as the basis for choosing the criteria of its effectiveness. That is, students' achievement and well-being of students are certain criteria which explains the productivity of the organization. Then the organic system model. Organic system model theory represents what? The criteria is what? Here, adaptability. That is how you are interacting. The main characteristic of this approach is that organizations are considered to interact openly with their surroundings. The type of flexibility for its survival by the way of securing essential resources. That is, this model is that school and colleges convey their performance, that is school enrollment, academic achievement in public examination, certification, recognition by the national accreditation or validation of international bodies like NCT and NAC to prove their effectiveness. So here, how well you are able to adapt, what kind of achievement you have achieved, these all come under the organic system, and how well you are interacting with your surroundings. Then human relation model. According to this model, it is the involvement of human beings. That is, according to this, the quality of human relation determines the effectiveness of the educational organization. The relation between the different human elements, that is your head of the institution, teachers, students, administrative personnel, and their interrelationship, and whether there is a conducive environment not, or there is democratic participation or not, job satisfaction is there or not. Then comes the bureaucratic model. Here, what happens? The educational institution has a well-defined structure of position and duties, which is called bureaucracy. Here, the organizational structure continues to operate with a reasonable degree of certainty. The effectiveness of the organization does not get affected. So here, continuity with that particular rules and regulation, with that particular duties, how well you are carrying it out, it is referring to the bureaucratic model. So here, the next one is the political model of organization. The political model of organization theory looks at educational institution as political battlefields. So responsiveness to external stakeholders is the criteria of judging it out. So according to this model, the effectiveness of educational organization is judged from the manner internal bodies of the organization, such as the governing council, comply with the demands of the external stakeholders. So here in this way, these are the different theoretical views of organizational effectiveness. Then we move on to the factors affecting the educational effectiveness. That is, the professional leadership, that is the head of the institution, should be very democratic in nature. Participatory approach should be there, and shared vision and goals. That is, all the members should have collaborative way of working, decision making. Then a learning environment, conducive learning environment should be there. Motivated students should be internally motivated to learn. Then concentration on teaching and learning, that is the time to be devoted for teaching and learning, for curricular and co-curricular activities. All of these things are to be pre-planned. Then purposeful teaching, goals should be prefixed, and accordingly the teaching learning experiences are to be provided. Then expectations. So the expectations is what? That is, here we have to see that the high expectations, resources, according to the resources we should expect. So we should have only realistic goals. Then only we'll be able to fulfill it out. Otherwise, that it will lead to all sort of stress, anxiety, and what? Expectation failure will lead to stress, anxiety, and the entire program will not be a successful one. Then positive reinforcement, reward, praise, feedback on students' performance should be there. Then monitoring progress, that is their formative and summative evaluation, continuous comprehensive evaluation should be done. Then only we can say that the entire program is functioning properly. Then pupils' rights and responsibilities. Their rights and responsibilities should be in a balanced manner, so that their all-round development is possible. Then what about the home-school relationship? That is your parents-teacher association, mothers-teacher association, their involvement. Even the community members are to be involved. That is the example of village education committee. Then overall learning organization. So here all the members, that is your students, teachers, staffs, headmasters, management members, all of them should cooperatively work for what? making the institution as a learning organization. Then we move on to what? That is your a comprehensive model of educational effectiveness. So it is a comprehensive model of educational effectiveness. It has been given by Primers in 1997. And here we see there is the student level, the classroom level. The student level refers to what? That is the ability of the student, the motivational level of the student, the attitude, the aptitude. Then classroom includes what? The curriculum, the grouping procedure, that is the mastery learning, the ability grouping, then the teacher behavior, teacher's competency, the way the teacher teaches, structuring of the content, using of proper teaching learning materials, clarity of presentation. Then the school level includes what? The educational aspects, the rules and agreements about the aspects of classroom situation, how the classroom discipline is to be maintained, entire school plans functioning, evaluation of the policy, and school as a system. Then organizational aspect is school policy and supervision of the teachers, departmental heads, head teachers, so that proper management and organization of administrative level at the administrative level, proper management and administration is carried out. Then time, the time available, everything is to be done according to the fixed timetable. Time schedule is to be prepared for different subjects, different topics, the examination, the admission, the entire school calendar is to be prepared. Then opportunity to learn at school level. That is here development and availability of a curriculum which will be according to the needs and requirement of the student. And it should be in accordance with the resources available. Then the content level, its quality. Then the time it should be arranged so that it should be completed within the time limit. Then the opportunity to learn. So national guidelines and rules with respect to the development of the curriculum, the school working plan and the activity plan at the school level. Everything is to be pre-planned and it is to be carried out according to the planning. Then the role of the headmaster. The headmaster, here we see that the headmaster should possess qualities of sociability, intelligence, self-confidence, adaptability, cooperation, risk-taking, verbal clarity. These are the qualities a leader should have. And the role of the teacher in organizational effectiveness. Here we see the teacher as a manager, management of curriculum planning and instruction, implements and evaluates the curriculum, plans it properly, develops and implements instructional strategies. Lesson planning is a must. Then management of resources, that is the use of furniture, map, charts, other equipments, science laboratories, computers. Then management of co-curricular activities, that is identification of talent among students, how to give them proper opportunity so that their talent will be fully developed. Then management of examination, that is what are the tools that are to be used for evaluating, that is objective type test or essay type test, the time limit, the content, the type of questions, everything is to be managed properly. Then the time. Time is what? That is the prepares annual timetable, prepares class timetable. Then management of conflict. A teacher acts as a manager, impartial judge when there arise conflict among students with multicultural and multi-ethnic background. Then management of innovation and change. So here the teacher should create condition and environment where innovation and change can happen. So here we see that teacher as a norm builder. As a norm builder, a teacher sets examples before the students by setting up certain norms and puts them into practice by planning them. And the teacher should act as a stage setter, facilitator, as a guide, friend, and philosopher. Nothing is to be imposed upon the child. And the child should be given ample freedom. Then only we can say that the teaching learning process has has come to a successful one. Then continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation is what? That is the objectives are there and according to the objectives the content is fixed or the syllabus is fixed and on the basis of the content methodology is selected Then on the basis of the objective content methodology, there is the evaluation procedure. So teaching learning or teaching learning testing, all of them are just like interconnected. And here, what do you mean by evaluation? So evaluation is measurement plus value judgment. So measurement and evaluation, they are just like what? Here we see they are interrelated. So here, what are the different characteristics of continuous and comprehensive evaluation? Continuous and comprehensive evaluation means what? Comprehensiveness of evaluation refers to evaluation of both scholastic and non-scholastic area. That is both your cognitive abilities and non-cognitive abilities are to be included. Then only a comprehensive evaluation will be there. And what about your continuous? That is regular interval. Evaluation is a continuous process. It refers to regularity of the evaluation process. So here, so continuous and comprehensive evaluation is what? Which is carried out on regular basis on all aspects of students' learning, both scholastic and non-scholastic. It gives equal emphasis on both formative and summative evaluation. So formative evaluation example is what? Your unit test, your different kinds of class tests. These are the formative evaluation. Summative evaluation comes at the end of the session. That is your term end examination. Both of them are equally important. So here we see the need of formative evaluation. It enables learner to understand their progress. It provides the teacher a diagnostic device to identify the students' weaknesses and strengths. It acts as a feedback to the teacher of the effectiveness of his or her teaching. Then here, need of the summative evaluation. Summative evaluation is needed for what? Here we see the main purpose is to grade the overall performance of the student. So the overall performance of the student, the academic year, has to be assessed through your summative evaluation. And there are different types of tools, that is testing devices, are there for formative and summative evaluation, like your objective type testing, open end questions, short answer question. Then you have practical activities, lab work. And so here, evaluation of scholastic and non-scholastic learning outcomes. So evaluation of scholastic and non-scholastic learning outcomes include what? Here we see that we have for the teachers, it is important to monitor the learning progress, locate the weakness of the learners, effectiveness of teaching, to predict the future success of the learners. Then for the students, they'll able to know what are their weaknesses. They'll get a proper feedback to identify the changes in character, to assess the curricular experience of pupils. So what are the areas of scholastic and non-scholastic outcomes? See, we have always taken the reference of Bloom's taxonomy. That is your knowledge, that is knowledge of specifics, comprehension. Then comes that is comprehension is what? Ability to comprehend a thing, to understand a thing. Application, that is ability to apply the knowledge into practice. Then analysis, then synthesis, then evaluation. Then we have a revised form of taxonomy given by Anderson, that is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. And what about the non-scholastic categories? The type of habits, study habits, work habits, the type of interest, policies, social qualities, adjustment, attitude, appreciation, values. All of these are coming under your non-scholastic categories. So there are some tools and techniques which are based on observation. For example, your checklist, rating scale, observation schedules, and based on product assessment is your drawing, painting, written test, and tools based on sociometric status, sociograms, tools and techniques based on self-reported inventories, your biographical data blank, personality inventory, attitude scale, tools and techniques based on the ideas of projection, that is your play technique, sentence completion technique, tools and techniques based on school records, that is your total cumulative records. So these are the examples through which we can assess the scholastic and non-scholastic abilities of our learners. Then what is continuous comprehension, evaluation and examination reform? So continuous internal assessment is a type of assessment which is done by the classroom teacher on a continuous basis. And it helps in what? That is, continuous assessment performs three major functions in the teaching learning process. These are what? Teaching, learning, and testing. So here, teaching and learning has been integrated with evaluation. So teaching and testing is just like two sides of a single coin. So we cannot detach teaching from testing and testing from teaching. So it provides us with regular feedback. It gives us continual internal assessment, help us to understand the strength and weaknesses of our students, and sometimes it has some demerits also. So here, continuous internal assessment may be subjective. Even the teacher's biasness can be there, and here it is also very difficult to compare the performance of students with students of other institutions. Even tools are there which are developed by the teacher themselves, so they may lack the validity and reliability. So here we have to say that this continuous comprehensive evaluation tools has both the merit and demerits also. Then the examples of question bank. Question bank help to what? It helps to it is a collection of questions or items to be used both for continuous assessment and term end examination. It will help the students to have an idea that what type of questions come, whether it is objective or subjective, the type of reference test to be carried out, the type of question pattern, the word limit, the time duration. All of these idea they can get from the question bank where previous year's questions are stored. Then what about grading? Grade is what is a type of examination reform suggested by UGC, and basically it is carried out by the Central Board of Secondary Education. Marks refers to the numerical symbols, that is from 0 to 100. It is awarded to the learner's performance, whereas alphabetical symbols, that is grade A, B, C, D, is referred to different types of grading system. That is direct grading system. In direct grading system, the achievement of the performance of student is graded directly without assigning any mark to the student answer. For example, there is question, different types of grade questions are there. For each question, particular grade is there. Then the average grade is taken out. If there are 4 long answers type questions, students are given 4 grades, and average of these 4 grades become the final grade of the student. For example, in question 1, the child has secured B, then 2 C, for 3 D, or and then for 4 A. Then we just add up the grade points, then we get the final overall average of these 4 grades, and that is the final grade of that particular child. Then what about indirect grading? In case of indirect grading, students' answers to questions are assessed in terms of marks. Then the institution devises some kind of grading scale in order to convert the students' overall marks in a subject or in the examination into grade. Then what about absolute grading? Here, an institution defines certain grade standard or performance, level of performance. That is 80% and above, outstanding, the grade letter will be A. 60 to 79, first division B. Second division is from 45% to 59% C. 33% to 44 is the third division, that is D. And below 33 is referring to the category description as unsatisfactory, and the grade will be E. So this is what is the example of absolute grading. Then what about relative grading? So here, this kind of grading is what students in a group are ranked on the basis of their relative level of achievement. So relative grading is the process of assigning letter grades to students on the basis of ranking them on their relative achievement. So the institution in this case takes a prior decision as to how many students would be awarded a particular grade on the basis of their relative performance. For example, the highest 10 to 20% of students will get A, then the next higher 20 to 30, then B, the next 30 to 50% of students C, then the lower 10 to 20% of student D, then the lowest 0 to 10 will be getting the E grade. So in this way, there are different types of grading system, that is your direct, then indirect, absolute and relative grading system. So in this way, we have come to the end of your block 4, and that is your MES-15 block 4, and my classes are over. And regarding your assignments, you can contact to the study center Ravencha, where you will be able to get your previous year students have deposited. You can get an idea how the questions are there. You have to write within a word limit of 500 words or 1000 words, and all the questions are there. There is option is also there. Long type questions are available. You can contact Basubhai for that. He'll be able to give you all the details regarding the assignment, the previous year's reference. He can provide you with that. Even the project work also, he'll be able to. Then you will have a good idea about how to write the assignments and whom to hand over. So in detail, you can talk to him and get all sorts of information. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. चला चला class is over. Soumya.